Fury looked like the guy that's never boxed before. Like when the final bell went, I just went, oh my God, he's lost. And everyone was messaging me saying, Fury's just lost, Fury's just lost. This is a guy that has never had a professional boxing match. And he just beat the lineal heavyweight world champion. I mean, it's bizarre.
I want to finish by kind of asking about your opinion on what went on the weekend, Fury versus Ngannou. What did you make of Tyson Fury's performance?
I mean, dreadful, really. Like, I can't, you know, people saying, oh, he's let the boxing world down. I mean, I don't think it really matters, but I think it was good for boxing in a sense that it was an incredible spectacle. I mean, what Saudi Arabia did with the production and the ring walks was amazing. But before the fight, I gave Tyson Fury absolutely, I'm sorry, Francis Ngannou, zero chance of winning. Like, it on paper, it's just the most terrible mismatch. A guy that has never had a professional boxing match. And I think there was definitely an element of Tyson looking through him. I think maybe he wasn't as well prepared as he should have been. But it was still an awful performance. I mean, they're now talking about Ngannou as this, like, arguably the #1 in the heavyweight division. It's the biggest load of rubbish I've ever heard. And respect to him, because he was definitely much better than anyone thought he would be. But he can get beat by anybody from English title level to the #1. But there's some big fights out there for him now. I mean, you know, I already said that 6 months ago I sat down with Francis Ngannou and he asked me to try and make the Anthony Joshua fight. And I went to Anthony Joshua and he went, not interested in that. Like, it's a bit gimmicky. It was almost like, you know, I want to win the world heavyweight title again. So, but now, having, you know, in most people's opinion, beaten Tyson Fury at the weekend, how can he not be credible for whether it's AJ, whether it's Wilder, whoever that is? So everyone, you know, I feel a bit for Alexander Usyk because the Fury-Usyk fight sort of is massively devalued to the point where everyone feels like Ngannou should get his rematch. But, you know, whether it's a fight for AJ, whether that's a fight for Wilder, I've no idea. But Ngannou has put himself in the limelight as, I guess, a heavyweight contender in his pro debut, which is bizarre, but it is what it is. But I felt he won the fight. I did. You know, I think when the final bell went, my gut feeling was he's got this. You know.
Yeah.
And it would have been. I feel a bit for him because if he would have got the actual victory on paper, it goes down as one of the greatest sporting victories. Forget boxing, in the history of sport. I mean, forget Buster Douglas against Mike Tyson and Ruiz against Joshua. And like, this is a guy that has never had a professional boxing match. Yeah. And he just beat the lineal heavyweight world champion. I mean, it's bizarre.
Do you think, though, the result went in the favour of Tyson Fury because of the Usyk fight being confirmed for after?
No, well, listen, it was close. But, of course, like, if Fury would have dropped Ngannou and would have hurt him a couple of times, like, we would have all been saying that Fury won the fight, but he didn't really do anything. Like, I mean, there wasn't a huge amount of action in the fight, but Fury looked scared, like, on the back end of the fight. And every time they got in a clinch, obviously Ngannou was incredibly strong. Like, he looked like he was getting flung around, and, you know, it's a tough fight to score in the respect of no one really did a lot in the back end, but I think Ngannou buzzed Fury again in the 8th. But because he dropped him and because he won those early rounds, for me, he won the fight by 1 or 2 rounds. So, like, when the final bell went, I just went, oh my God, he's lost. And everyone was messaging me saying, Fury's just lost, Fury's just lost. And then obviously it went to scorecards and he won. So most people's reaction was that Ngannou won the fight. But yeah, I can't believe it. I mean, Fury looked like the guy that's never boxed before. It was amazing.
And just finally then, so what does this mean for Joshua then? What's kind of the thought process?
The only thing AJ has on his mind is to become 3-time world heavyweight champion. Mm-hmm. To do that, there's a lot happening with the IBF and how belts are going to fragment after Fury-Usyk. I mean, I don't see Fury-Usyk actually happening now till February or March, really. So we'll have to see what happens. Look, the the AJ and Ngannou fight is a monster. I mean, two absolute man mountains. And I love the fight because I think it's easy work for Anthony Joshua. Like, and all these people now who think that Ngannou's going to go out and beat AJ, beat Wilder, beat Zhang, beat like me. I respect what he's done, but I'm a non-believer in that. So I love the fight, and we'll definitely pick up with them to see if they're interested in that fight. It's a massive fight in Saudi. I mean, you know, that's a fight that could create history in Africa. You know, almost like a Rumble in the Jungle 2. It's massive. And the crazy thing is, some people are calling it a 50-50 fight. So I'm all over it, because that's, you know, if you really think that, make the fight. And I know AJ wins that fight inside 3-6 rounds max. So we'll see. But Ngannou's, you got to give him the credit. He's a big, strong boy, and he's put himself in a great position.